This video will cover an introduction to an overview of the Interactive Human Anatomy Database by Gale. This database provides access to visual models of the human body. Let's start with a quick overview of this particular database. Each topic or subject has a model with information and questions, an overview of that topic or subject, a list of models for related topics or subjects, and then hyperlinks for related subject terms. These hyperlinks will lead to books and academic articles. So for example, if you are interested in looking at the mandible or the jawbone, you can open up that particular activity. It will have a model with additional information and quiz questions, as well as information that links to academic articles and books that relate to that particular body part. Next, I will show you how to locate this particular database in the library resources, and then we will practice with a couple of examples. Once you arrive at the library's homepage, you will see in the center of the page a blue box with a tab for databases. You can then click Find by Subject, and that will take you to the database list arranged by subject. This particular database is under Nursing and Health Technologies. So when you click on that subject, you will see a drop-down menu, and then you will see Interactive Human Anatomy. Go ahead and click on that, and it will take you straight to the database. You will see a search bar at the top of the database. You can search for particular body parts here, or you can select something that has already been highlighted for you, or you can search by system, region, or even explore 3D models. We'll come back to the 3D models at the end of the video. You could search by system. There are 4 that are listed here, but there are multiple, so you could click View All System Categories there in blue. You could do the same thing with the region. There are 4 listed, but you can view more by clicking View All Region Categories. It just depends on however you would like to search. To get started, you can click a checkbox, and that will pull up whatever you have decided to look for. So in this case, I looked for muscular, and it's going to show me the different ways that I could explore the regions or the systems and each model that's associated with each one. In this particular case, I have found 44 search results because there are 44 models that are tagged as part of the muscular system. You can see that each one not only is tagged with a system, but also with a region, some with multiple regions or systems. I will go ahead and select the ankle region, and you will see that in selecting this result, I will bring up a model of the ankle region as well as information which can be seen to the right hand side of the screen. Every one of these body parts will have a model and further information to go along with them. They will have multiple slides, as you can see here with the model. There will be information about the particular slide that you are looking at, and then you'll be able to navigate with the arrows on the side the slides in this lesson. And in this particular lesson, they are going over the various parts of the ankle. But what's so great about this particular resource is that the models allow you to be very interactive with them. And there are lots of ways to interact with these slides and models. So in this case, I can move the labels around, and as I navigate further and further into the slides, the material becomes more detailed and specific. And as we move through the lesson, when certain body parts are highlighted or the lesson wants to draw attention to a certain region in the model adapts, showing certain body parts in different colors, adding more specific information, becoming more detailed, and giving students a 360 kind of look at whatever it is they are studying. And these models are specific and detailed for each one of these lessons. Another great feature of these lessons is that once the students have finished exploring the model, there will be a quiz at the end of the lesson. This quiz is not graded or attached to the gradebook in any way, but it allows students to practice the knowledge that they have gained from the model. Students can see the question to the left-hand side of the page, and then they will be able to respond by interacting with the model, depending on whatever the question is. So some will be to select certain regions, others will be to label regions. It depends on whatever the lesson is, but the student is actually able to interact with the model as they take the quiz. Another great feature of this resource is that you can zoom in and out on the region that you are studying. You can move the model around, and you can also take the model apart. So students can take the different region apart and put it back together again, and this can help to connect students with what they're learning and give them an opportunity to practice and use the model in a variety of different ways. There are some other really useful features about this resource. In particular, each region that you are looking at will have related activities below it. You will notice that the related activities are also related by either system or region. The other great feature of this database is that each model has information about the body part that you can cite or send or download in some way. And there's a lot of ways to interact with the overview of the model. So you will see that you have the overview on the right-hand side, and many of these overviews are multiple paragraphs, and they really just introduce the model verbally, whereas the model will introduce the region visually. And each one of these contains information. In this particular case, this talks about the ankle region and a sprain, but each one will cover a different topic depending on the region. And then you'll have at the bottom some related subjects. Within the content itself, you may see some highlighted words. In this particular case, we have sports and sprains. These are highlighted keywords that can be further explained should students need additional information. If you hover over those highlighted keywords, they are going to link you to a reference material, and this typically will give you just an overview of that keyword. It may define it or give you some additional ideas about how to describe or explain certain content. They can be very useful for students who are looking for other keywords. They can contain multiple keywords that may help in research. If you wanted to explore the related subjects here at the bottom, you could click on one of them. We clicked on sports injuries here, and the result is that there are ebooks and academic articles. This can be very useful for students who are just starting to learn about how to use the library system, and perhaps they are interested in a certain region or body part. They thought that this particular lesson was very useful for them. This is going to link them to books and academic articles that are related to the lesson. One final thing that we'll cover is the 3D models available through this particular database. Gale Interactive Human Anatomy has the resources to provide some 3D models, which you can then download and have printed on a 3D printer. If you go back to the Gale Interactive Human Anatomy homepage, you'll see the search bar up here, as well as the ways to search the regions. At the bottom of the page, next to the region, is going to be 3D printable models. So you can click Browse STL Files, and then you can scroll through whichever models interest you most. And when you are ready for one of these files to be downloaded, you'll click the link, and that will be downloaded to your computer, and you can then open it up and look at the 3D model, which if you wanted to print at the library, you could. You would just email ccclib@cccc.edu, and we will help you process that request.